Hello, everybody. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntax Live. I hope you guys are doing really well on this day before Thanksgiving. I don't know what I see. Erica just typed in what happened. Small glitch, small glitch. Hopefully the sound is actually working. And I actually have to turn part of this off so I can run my startup here. I'm actually like way behind schedule, guys. I've been running around like a fucking jackass all day trying to get it done. Just so you know, there is a video dropping tonight. It's going to be the compilation that you guys usually sent me. It's going to be pretty long. And for some reason, everything on my soundboard just freaked out on me. Okay, fun. Yeah. Sorry for the delay on that one, guys. Like I said, I literally just sat down. Let me grab my notes because they fell off to the side. And first things first, thank you everybody for being here and joining me tonight. I know a lot of people are going to be traveling, so I don't expect a long stream tonight. We'll see how it goes. And hold on. Ooh, see, I'm having a lot of trouble with this. And we got our first super chat of the night. And it's MTF Guard.
Heresy! Remove this filth!
And sorry, and he says, "Here we go. The thing's acting weird on me. I had to resend like 7 times. Really? That's very interesting. I'm guys, like I say before, if for some reason the stream suddenly takes a shit for some reason because StreamYards is acting up, then I will just cut the stream early. I'm not going to subject you guys to crap. I don't do that. I do not ever do that if I can possibly help it. So let's see. Going down everything, like I was saying, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And here's raising a glass to everybody having a good Thanksgiving. Oh, I mixed that up a little too hot. Whoo-hoo. Yes, it is the stronger stuff tonight. As far as YouTube is concerned, that's water with olives in it. I mix it up myself. I do have to say this, guys. A few of these buttons on my soundboard, I'm going to have to remove what they are. Now, I can give them like 2 seconds. There's that one's got to come off, and that one's got to come off because the last week's live stream, I let the Rickroll go for more than 2 seconds, and the whole thing got demonetized. So fun on that. Alan saying, ouch, I don't know what I do wrong. Oh, you got a $10 super chat from Eric. And here's what's pissing me off. Erica, I had it lined up. I was going to play the goddamn gem thing. It was right there. And literally at the truly outrageous part. And I can't do that. Oh, man, I'm actually pissed that I can't do that now. Oh, it's just, but anything that has to do with music, they are up my ass. I mean, they're up so much, they're literally playing my heart as congos right now. And it's just, But Erica says, happy Thanksgiving, and thank you, Sin. Thank you very much, Erica, for being here, and everybody else. Do I have anything for Erica? Which one did you want? Which one? I think you had...
When I get sad, I stop being sad and be awesome instead. True story.
And you just keep being awesome, Erica, out there. You just keep doing that. Now, I do have to halt a little bit. I want to keep this one light, but if you guys have been seeing the news, a couple of our National Guardsmen just got ambushed. They're currently, at least one's in critical condition. I don't know about the other one. So if you have a drink, again, let's raise up to their recovery. And let's hope this doesn't get any worse. Because if it does, then, oh, help me out, Bugs.
Of course you realize this means war.
And folks have no idea what that actually means. Until you've actually been there, seen that, you have no freaking idea. Just like some people don't know what it's like to actually be tired, actually be hungry, actually be truly horny, to actually be truly in pain. Until you're there, you don't understand it. I hate to say it this way, but most women don't know actual pain until they give birth. And I'm sorry, pushing something the size of a watermelon through something the size of a lemon, you have my respect, ladies. You seriously have my respect on that. Wait, Douglas, are you shitting me? Oh, fuck berries, man. Oh, dude, I hope that's not true. I haven't seen it in at least the past hour. Oof. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, then I'll give the standard infantry prayer for him. Good luck on your next assignment, my friends. That. Oof. Oh, I was hoping this live stream wouldn't go down that route, but oh, I'm gonna hurt somebody. I hate to say it, but I'm probably going to hurt someone now. And I put my lead slingers down a long time ago. I don't want to pick them up again because I don't like who I turn into when that happens. It's bad enough people look at me weird as I'm walking with the 30-30. They're like, "Are you looking for deer?" I'm like, "No, I'm just walking around. What are you talking about?" That's just a natural thing you pick up. You just look around for everything. I don't want to live like that no more. I'd rather just make you guys awesome stories and call it good. So, speaking of hopefully what you guys are enjoying for awesome stories, we have Safe Passage, which is still going. It's getting towards the end, as you guys know. But it's been the big one for the entire week. So this is pretty much the only one we're going to cover for tonight. But I got a lot of extras in here. But, you know, we'll have to take some side routes on that. Oh, excuse me. All right. Let's see. Starting with somebody said how the captain is going to need a lot of cold showers. No joke. That's to be expected. Now, I do have to put this out. You got to remember, this guy is being contracted to transport them safely. They are not getting there safely if he fills them out like a freaking job application, bends them in positions that will make Gumby scream, and they end up potentially pregnant by the time they get there. That would be bad. That would just be bad. Okay, which is why his son Robert is, thankfully he has his girlfriend there. And what does the captain do? He goes to the gym 3 to 4 times a day, literally just to burn off all that energy. So you find out something. Cold showers work. They do, but they're brief. They're very, very brief. As far as, holding that down. Somebody brought up with the clothes about hollow projected clothes. I'm sorry, but no. That literally means you're walking around naked. Just because you can't visually perceive it, understand that other species, especially those with antennae, are going to be able to see right through that shit like Daredevil. And let's face it, they're probably seeing through your clothes anyway. But there's no reason to give them a crystal ball, So yeah, that's why I didn't do holographic clothes. Didn't work. All right, here's one I wanted to go over with you guys because it was a bit of contention. And if you're writing science fiction, especially hard science fiction, here's something a lot of people don't understand. I know of one story that actually showed these, and it was some sort of anime where the main character guy was human and the other one was called an ob, and it looked like a blue-haired elf. Anyway, as far as a lot of the UFOs, UAPs, whatever the hell you want to talk about, a lot of the stuff, if you listen to Dr. Greer and all that, they talk about how there's a time distortion bubble that allows them to do all those movements without turning everybody inside into goop, literally squishy goop, just from kinetic force. The fact of the matter is, if you're moving through space...
What? What the fuck?
Oh, sorry, wrong button. I meant to go...
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
We have somebody who has changed his name to Hot Ohori 6669666, but I recognize that succubus on there. SS Demon, you beautiful person, you. And but I am going to actually use your new name. I got to write it down very succinctly so I can write it down. And he says, "Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We just given work that was just given work that once they hire one more third shift QC person, I can change my Wednesdays so I won't be back until that happens. Miss you guys and love the stories. Demon, we miss you too. And if you're still listening, it's great to hear from you. I love to hear from you guys, even if you don't send a super chat, which I do very much appreciate. But folks like Ava and Sir, I haven't seen them for a while. It'd be nice if they checked in. So again, good to see you, Demon, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. So on that side note, let me back up here. As far as the distortion bubbles, now how that's going to work, let me open this up so I can actually use my hands. You have the bubble that is around your ship. It's going to be radiating from whatever core engine it is. Now you have another bubble from another ship. As soon as they touch, you got to image it like soap bubbles, how they merge. But when they do merge, what's going to happen is as they merge at the very tips, you're going to perceive it as just this orifice opening up, this portal opening up. And in that moment, you have actually joined those two different distortion bubbles together. And just like when they did the jumps in Babylon 5, as soon as you open that orifice, something can go inside and stir everything up. Yes, I'm trying to make a joke on this, but it's not going over all that well. Yeah, I know she's active on Discord, Erica. It'd be nice to see her here too. Anyways, that's how that works, at least in this universe in Safe Passage. As far as they're going through when they're in FTL, you can merge those together. You'll actually go faster the more engines you have to push the mass. However, it's with the pirates, as you can see, what they're trying to do is open it up, force themselves in, because if they're destroyed once it actually inside that sphere of your original bubble, all that shrapnel and shit's going to be in there, and it's just going to slow you down simply due to the fact that more mass has to be moved via the engine. And there's different calculations that go along with that. I literally patterned this exactly off the science that they were talking about that came out of wherever, not Area 51, but wherever they got the ships nowadays, where they're testing this crap. All right, this comes directly out of all the whistleblowers, and I got to put it that way because YouTube's up my ass, but the whistleblowers are watching on that. So keep that in mind. And that is why, again, if you're going to use this technology in your story, understand okay, that's funny, Guardian. Area 69. Hold on.
Giggity giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
And regardless, but when you're using that technology, that moment when they touch, that is why the immediate shot into the center of the orifice. The thing is, because of the fact that it's coming from a single engine and that engine is now off to the side, you will be exactly in front of where that orifice is. You can't move to the side. It doesn't work that way. You will always expose one side of your ship, which is why the captain on Safe Passage immediately fired the moment they touched, the second they knew it was there. Hell, even just right before, because you can actually send debris through that. It probably rip itself into atoms on the other side, because once that distortion field is lost, kinetic force, strictly kinetic force. Now you are unshielded, moving at FTL, and something the size of the grain of rice carries enough kinetic force to blow half your ship apart. Now think all these micro tubular nodule things going through your ship, tens of thousands of them within a matter of a second. It's going to just tear everything to pieces. That's just the way it works, at least with that technology. That is exactly how FTL combat works. All right. On a slightly different note, I got to adjust things here. You guys seem to like
the voice that was used of the aliens. The reason I use this voice, even though I had to darken my voice to actually make it work and be a little threatening, instead of sounding like a fucking minion.
The reason I use that is because the Croatians, which I actually pulled that from a DC comic, by the way, are very, very small. They're anywhere from 1 foot to about 3 feet tall at maximum. So when they speak, obviously their voice is going to be smaller, which means
they're going to sound a whole lot like this. As evil and as mean as they want to sound, they're still going to
sound like somebody who's been sucking helium and kicked in the balls at the same time. So, and thank you. I know he doesn't want any extra thank yous, but thank you for the soundboard. It has helped out tremendously. Like I said, I've got 2 sitting in front of me, and 1 now is completely packed. Unfortunately, 2 of the things I got to take out of, but we talked about that earlier. Now, the other thing that came up, and this is why I had a whole section of episode, I believe it was 5, specifically for this, was the people were asking about where's the captain's partner? You know, where's Robert's father? And well, ask and ye shall receive. And yeah, it was bad. I had to think of one of the worst ways that was happened, besides something like, I don't want the kid, you can have him, and I'm going to go off and screw something else. But hopefully it wasn't too bad. You know, you never know. Here we go. But yeah, that was the reason why I spent so much time on that. So yeah. And I don't want to spend too much time on that one because, again, it was an area designed to grab you by the feels and kind of twist a little bit. All right, there was a question about why do the goers need a slit for the tail in the dress? And I actually answered this to them. And Ava, you can, or not, sorry, not Ava, Erica, you can actually acknowledge this. Summer dresses, which I didn't understand what one of these was until I was dating a woman who loved to wear the fucking things, are extremely long. They're like a gown, but they're extremely thin. You know, they're meant to be very breathable. In fact, a lot of women wear them over swimsuits because a lot of times they're sheer, especially if you start sweating, which you do a lot in the summertime. Regardless, with that sort of thing, and since their tail is so long, if they suddenly like swish their tail real fast, they're going to rip the fabric. So they would need to actually cut it a hole to slide their tail through so it can move freely. And that's really it. And thankfully, a few of you also said that the joke landed. And hold on. Where is it? Oh, I forgot to load it up. Damn it. Thankfully, the joke didn't go full because it was, Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Yeah, that was straight from Airplane. You are right, 100%, 10,000% right. That's exactly where I got that joke from. If you are one of the younger folks and you have not watched the movie Airplane, you are missing the fuck out. Seriously. One of the best satires that can be enjoyed by the entire family. Well, mostly. But I digress. All right. Back on this one. All right. Let's see. Oh, this was 2 things that were actually brought up during all this. One was actually for a different story. One of the things we keep getting wrong when you and I create science fiction stories is the size of the ship. It was actually brought up how the size of a cargo ship, even in space combat, more often than not, is going to be smaller than the cargo ship is going to be larger than the warship. to prove the point, all you have to do is look at the standard cargo vessels that are on the ocean now compared to something like a frigate or destroyer. They're huge. They're 6, 7, 8 times larger than our Aegis destroyers easily. Now, that being said, you start getting up into dreadnought classes, which are basically mobile battle stations. Yeah, it's going to be a lot bigger than some sort of cargo vessel. That's just the way it is. That's why the classes are different the way they are. That being said, I need to watch out on that one. And I'm sure if you guys are writing anything, you need to watch on that too. It totally escaped my mind when I thought about it. And I was like, awesome. Thank you guys for reminding me. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Also, there was a whole thing about the fact if you're going through like our asteroid field, the asteroids are sometimes 80,000 kilometers apart. It may be an asteroid field, but it's not like going through the asteroid field in Star Wars. I mean, they're a lot farther apart than people realize. Are there small fragments that are still going to bounce off your hull? Yeah, sure. There's going to be fragments everywhere. That being said, it's not going to be as difficult to traverse as most people think. Will you have to go sublight to get through it? Yes, unless you're using some sort of teleportation type thing. So keep that in mind, and I'm glad you guys remind me of this stuff, or else I'd forget too. All right. When I referenced in, actually it was this one, part 6, the duality of humans, money or morality. When I mentioned the whole not without my daughter, yes, I was referencing the movie. Yes, I was also referencing the book. So you guys, again, you guys have been Johnny on the fucking spot, 10 quadrillion% correct. Yes, I was using that as a reference. However, based on that, I want you to understand the reason I use something like that and the fact that I went in and showed that not all humans are great is one of the things I wanted to get into later, and I will again, is the fact that we need to subvert expectations. If we don't subvert expectations, we're going to create AI chatbot versions of the stories we want to actually create. Something has to twist. Something has to move different. Something has to be odd, because you can't always have every single human being above board. It's not going to happen, even when we get into space flights. And wait a minute, do I hear somebody rolling up? Yeah, I think somebody's rolling in. Oh, who is that? That's Brian Kemp with a $20 super chat. And he says, today is a great day. It's my last day of work. I'm officially retired. He's retired, people. Yes. Awesome. Dude. That's great. I've been retired for about 4 years now myself. And here, all I can say is this. Now that every day is Saturday, just remember, now every day is Saturday. I only say this because you're going to lose track of the days. You're going to not remember if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever the hell it is. It's just something that's going to happen. All the days are going to start blur together. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get yourself a hobby. Well, oh, wait, you have one, don't you? However, in the winter months, it's kind of going to be kind of hard to go riding on the hog. It is what it is. That being said, again, get yourself a hobby. Me personally, I do a lot of gardening and stuff like that from spring to fall. And during the winter months, I'm usually taking care of the fire and stuff like that. You know, find yourself whatever suits you, and you're just going to do a whole lot better. Just do not sit around and do nothing. It's going to be great for about a week, week and a half, maybe 2 at the most. After that, you're going to be like, okay, I got to get my ass up and do something. It's going to drive you nuts. However, still officially retired is a massive milestone, and congratulations, my friend. Okay, note to self, don't take a big gulp out of that. Whew. Woodworking and photography. Okay. Me personally, I'm not all that good with woodworking, but I have been doing photography for a very long time. Actually, at one point, I actually was brought into one of the combat housing units in Iraq, and one of these women wanted a Bordeaux picture for her husband, or sorry, boudoir. Fuck, I think the water is messing with my tongue. Anyway, she wanted an attractive one there. I said, okay, I can do this, but there's like 6 people in this combat housing unit. Get the fuck out, except for her and maybe 1 or 2 other people. And while I'm working, fuck off and let me do what I need to do. I spent about 20 or 30 minutes. As you know, Brian, you take like 20, 30 minutes trying to figure out what style they want, if there's any particular angles that they want. And then you'll just sit there and fill out an entire memory card of like 2,000 or 3,000 photos, constantly adjusting things, telling them to hold still, moving the head, moving the hand. Here, stop, don't kick me, just move your leg up this way. Hold on, I got to adjust this and that and the other thing. It got so bad, I get friggin' knocks on the freaking door. Everyone's like, is everything going okay in there? And of course, she'd have to yell back, everything's fine. I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. And believe it or not, I stumbled across a couple of those a couple of those pictures a few years, well, actually like 10 years ago now. And I had to laugh my ass off. Because, did you take those pictures, Sard? No. Maybe. No. All right. Okay, sorry. Off in the weeds. I'm off in the weeds. Let's see. All right, last thing I'm going to talk about with safe passage here, and that is just remember when dealing with the alien species in your story, whichever one you're going to make, their chemical composition is going to react different, which is why, even though they also passed out because of too much tryptophan in the turkey, it also had a secondary effect.
Swing.
Oh, you know what? I hit the wrong button again. Hold on. I meant this one. Yeah, so, and not to mention, I put that in a little bit for fun. Anyways, before I go too much, again, a salute to the National Guardsmen. Dude, right before Thanksgiving, too. Holy fucking flying ball sacks. Ugh. Okay. All right. Here's there's my notes on subverting expectations, but we already covered that. Just so you guys know, every video game industry is right now going absolutely nuts, and we got a few gamers in here who can attest to this, that Dispatch has just proven that there's no superhero fatigue. There's no fatigue for anything except fatigue on the woke bullshit. There is no woke bullshit on this one. There's some clawing missteps on this show/game. But they still did an excellent job. And people are enjoying it. There's so much to do on extra playthroughs unless you want to sit there on YouTube and watch all the shorts that show you all the different verbiage that comes out of it. Giggity. So, yeah, there's just so much to discover that everybody's just going crazy. Now, it makes you wonder what's actually drawing everybody in. Is it the story? I know it's not the gameplay because most people don't like reaction Twitch stuff. That's a very niche thing. But people enjoyed it nonetheless. Because there's a lot to discover. There's a lot of different playthroughs they can get. I'm not even going to touch that one, Alan. All right. Sorry, just reading one of the comments that came through. Now, here's the question. For those of you who play, are you team invisigal or are you team Blazer? Me personally, I'm strictly team Blazer. I was when I first started watching it, and I said, yes, absolutely yes. Even when it showed she's not blonde, but she's still a Blazer. Now, here's the thing. I was watching a few other folks do an analysis on this, and we pretty much all come to the same consensus. Now, I'm not going to do a full breakdown like I did before. War Sniper, did you just call it Team Balzer?
It's a trap.
I'm sorry. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny right there. Be with them starving pygmies in New Guinea. Amen. All right. Now, here's the thing I come across with this. And this shows a lot about mentality. And somebody said this is a giant friggin' psyop to see what most guys are into. Now, I look at, say, and here I got to go back and forth on these because I couldn't find a picture with both of them together that didn't look like total asshole. If you're looking and you say, I want invisigal because, I don't know, she has that hot, I want to, you know, how do I put this? She's more chance that shirt's going to come off, which it did by the end. Guys who look at her go, I can fix her. I can fix her. I know she's messed up, but don't worry. I'll fix her. I'll make her fall in love with me. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Famous last fucking words, people. It'll be fine. I'll fix her. She's going to love me. Ay, chihuahua. I mean, don't get me wrong. She's going to break you off in a fun way. However, holy shit. That again, you have the younger kid mentality. You know, after life has kicked you in the nuts a few times, you're going to be thinking you want something a little more, say, stable, like Blazer. And Blazer, the only bad part is you're dating your fucking boss. And you know you don't dip your pen in the company ink. No. You don't shit where you eat. And there's a whole bunch of other phrases that go with that. And it's just, holy flying crap. Again, as long as you keep the relationship, there's a lot of hidden stuff with her in particular, even though she sucks at being a dispatcher. They already showed that. She's not perfect, which is fine. But, or I should say, but you find out towards the end that she goes to the gym depowered, okay? The way they drew her and the clothes she was wearing, she spends a lot of time in the gym, and she was wearing gym clothes, okay, to include that little sweat top, little hoodie bullshit that a lot of women like to wear. Me personally, I hate those things. I never wear a hoodie in the gym, ever. I don't care how cold it is. I will get on the treadmill and run at a sub 6-minute mile pace if that's what it means, but I'm not wearing a hoodie in the gym. It just doesn't happen. But that's where you can see the difference. And, you know, I don't have anything for you on this one in particular, Guardian Sage, except for...
Great Scott.
What the hell is that? That drew my attention because we got a $20 super chat from the Guardian Sage, which, oh, by the way, Guardian, I'm still waiting for any other pictures you want me to throw up of that you want for your shout outs during the week. And that in particular, because I only got one, and it's like the reptilian-ish kind of head, but you can't really see a face. So if you don't, I'm literally running them random. And he says, if you could have the 3 modes of transportation in any book, movie, TV show, video game, or original idea, what would you pick? No, original idea must be described, and real world things can be picked if it has a book. All right. As far as transportation goes, now, if we're talking strictly logistics wise, teleportation would be very, very nice. On that one in particular, however, I'd be worried about that simply because you're playing pinball with your molecules, and that's just a standard phrase for that one. Let me get this off of there. Any 3 modes. Now, I will say, I want to say like 0-point energy generated engines that where you can actually fly. But that's more based on the engine than the actual flight, because once you have that, you'll also bring in anti-gravitics, which is not quite flying. It's more floating. So I don't know if that works too well. I will say, as far as space travel goes, either the basic Stargate system or it has to be an object, not an ability. Okay. I personally think the jump drive systems are probably your best bet as far as any type of FTL goes. Things like from Battletech or even not really the Dune universe, because that is really contingent on a whole bunch of other stuff. And 1 second.
Inconceivable!
He's actually back. The SS Demon is back. And he says, I'm on my 30-minute lunch break, so I'll be here for a short amount of time and stick with SS Demon. YouTube is messing up. Okay. We'll do that. Let me actually change that from your Hattori. So, seriously, dude, that sounds like Haktua.
Giggity giggity. Giggity goo. Stick around.
And thank you for showing up again, Demon. Appreciate it very much. And I'm trying to actually answer Guardian's question at the moment. Now, as far as transportation here on the planet, our best bet is going to be teleportation, which is literally going to get you from here to fucking Paris in a second and a half. Will it be something I would want to send myself through? Probably not, but I have no problems working that with logistics at all. That works just fine for me. Let's see. Any type of anti-gravitics would just be the cat's fucking meow as far as on world. As far as in space, again, any type of FTL that works is fine for me. I'm not going to go crazy on that. Anywhere from the Babylon 5, super space, slip space, whatever the hell they call it, to actual like Battletech Mech Warrior, actual jumping from system to system, to hell, I'll take even warp speed at this point. Anything that actually goes FTL and will get you from one system to another within a few hours. Now, with a lot of these jump drives, they're instant. So yeah, there's that. That's all I can say on that. And yeah, as far as transportation, yeah, the only thing that would freak anybody out if you have those modes of transportation is the only thing they're going to think is, oh shit, they're going to teleport a bomb. Oh, everybody goes there because they think only the bad thing. You know, people say you have to look on the good side. No, you have to see the bad side too, but people are still looking on the bad, but they're forgetting there's a good side to it. All technology is a double-edged sword. Every single one, every single time, regardless of what it is, it's a double-edged sword. If you're too focused on the blade that's facing you, you forget the one that's going to slice through your opponent. So, yeah. As far as transportation stage, that's the best I got. Unfortunately, because a lot of these are actually wrapped around the type of energy use and physics that we're working with here. I know that's vague. I really know that's vague, but it's what I got. All right. And there's demons right there. And here's to you guys, Guardian Sage, Erica, Guard, everybody out there. Had to wet my whistle anyway. All right. Let me finish up what I was talking about with dispatch so we can move on to a different subject. All right. When it comes to the invisigal character, it's very easy to see that she is quite literally junk food. Fun at the time, but is basically going to give you the shits. Okay? You can tell by how they did their actual dates. When you went with invisigal, you're eating junk food and watching a movie. When you went on the date with Blazer, not only was she cool enough to show that she has a secret identity, but she also showed that, she's a person just like you, okay? And She actually had a healthy meal waiting, which is a sit down and talk to somebody and get to know them, not sitting quietly inside a movie theater, but actually getting to know. There's substance there. There's actual substance. And that's the key thing. Guys, when you're young, we all want the quick and fast because that's all we know at that point in life. But trust me, you want the stable. And I'll finish with this really quick. With the Blazer character, the reason she gravitates towards the main character, Robert, is the fact that neither of them were born with powers. She has to put on the amulet. He has to climb into an exosuit. They are very similar. They know what it's like to not only just be heroes with powers, but also be the regular human on the street without them. And that plays into their characters, and that's why she gravitates to them. All right, let me actually get these out of here before I actually sit there and talk about. Now I'll keep the one with her flashing her butt on there, but still. All right, the next thing I wanted to talk about, because somebody brought this up. Guys, no, I am not a War Thunder player. I would like to be. I do not have enough hours to commit to War Thunder. I understand weapons, logistics, and tactics. Okay, it's very, very important to understand that. So I'm just really good at that. It's what I trained at for 20 freaking years. So yeah, that being said, if you really, really wanted to understand these individual War Thunder pieces, like if you want to learn how to fly, watch the videos of guys who are actual pilots. If you want to learn something about tanks, you watch from guys who are actual tankers. That's your best bet. Just like when I was watching World of Warships, I listened to the way these guys talk. I got on a channel, and I forget which one it was. Every single one on their team was a sailor at one point. Two of those guys were retired. One, I believe he was an executive officer, and the other one, I don't know what he did. I know they were both officers. That's the best I got. But the way they spoke is stuff I was actually taking notes because the jargon has to be a certain way, just like the jargon for space travel is going to be a certain way. It's going to be very similar because it's still a ship. They're going to still say galley. They're still going to say infirmary. In the Army, we don't call it that. The galley is the defect, the dining facility, or the chow hall if you want to be quick. The infirmary is the aid station. We don't use that. Period. You know, we don't say hands on the deck. We just scream on the ground because, again, it's just a different mentality. So, anyway, let's see. Okay, I talked about the asteroid belt. I do have to bring this up is the last thing I want to talk about before we get into everybody's chats here. And it has to do with 3-Eye Atlas. 3-Eye Atlas is once again acting very, very, very strange. Do I know what the fuck is going on? Absolutely not. Okay, it is well beyond my pay grade to understand what the fuck is going on with that thing. We're getting all sorts of pictures and videos, and it's not going to be until I believe late next month or some such shit that it's going to be passing by us. Close enough where we could really see something. Now, that being said, a few people who do speculate these things and supposedly remote viewers, I can only pray that they're correct. Okay, if even half of these guys are correct, be prepared for one hell of a global awakening. It's going to be very interesting. However, one in particular, he's a fairly well-known remote viewer. He said if it does half of what he thinks it's supposed to do when it passes by the Earth, it is going to be exceptionally jarring. Okay? And a lot of people are going to freak the fuck out because they're not going to know how to understand it. If for some reason it seems like the world just kind of shimmies and shifts on you and suddenly you start contemplating certain things, first off, I hope you're not driving. Secondly, last time that happened, I was on the treadmill. I had to immediately hit the stop button because I thought I was going to pass out. No, I was getting a revelation on something, which was, again, weird. Didn't make, still to this day, it doesn't make sense, but I'm sure it'll make sense later once it happens. Regardless, just be ready for whatever's going to happen. You know, if you hear that it's part of it's coming down towards this planet, don't panic. Panic's not going to do any good. If it lands here, or it lands in China, or it lands in India, or it lands in Kazakhstan, I don't know, maybe in the middle of Africa, maybe in the middle of the Pacific, you don't know. If you know something's coming down, all you know is something's coming down. Panicking's not going to do you any good. So we'll see how that pans out. And right now, I am going to, remind everybody, make sure that you are still subscribed. I appreciate it because I am still bleeding subscribers. I lost some more today for I have no idea what reason. It's all bullshit and it's bad for you. But, oh shit, I forgot to take that off. Remove the banner. Okay. But we're about to move on to the comment section, and I'm going to be going through my media assets. I didn't get a lot today. And as a reminder, what's dropping tonight is the compilation that was supposed to go out on Sunday. I was extremely busy on Sunday. Nothing got done. Whole rigmarole. You guys know life kicks you in the nuts. So tomorrow's just going to be the compilation. I didn't put as many sound effects in it as I did before, but there's a reason for that. Most of what's there's a lot of talk in the background, so it's not like I could do too much on that. I did a few for those, but mostly it's the vehicles driving around or the War Thunder stuff that I can work with a lot easier, because trying to work with the, just the spooky stuff, I run out of sound effects really, really quick. So let's start off. I've only got 6 videos, and the max they run is 30 seconds. Just so you guys know, if you do send me videos, no longer than 2 minutes, usually only about 1.5 minutes is the max that StreamYards is going to be able to show. However, if you want it to be at least 1 minute or so long, I'm all for it. And let's start out. I'm sure this one's going to be dynamite.
Did somebody say dynamite? No!
I can already hear 2 sound effects for that. One, when he got tagged in the tracks, I can just hear Will Smith, "Oh, you did not shoot that green shit at me." And then, of course, on the other one's like, "Oh, look, somebody else wants to play." You know who I don't actually see in here is V. He actually came in a few times in the comment section, and I even had this set up for him.
"'Tis vengeance, a vendetta, held as a votive, not in vain. For the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous." Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V.
So anyway, let me scroll up at least halfway here, and I see a bunch of super chats there. And I guess I'll stop around here with Guard saying, also saying, what do you think about 2 butt pics I sent you? Oh, the double pics. Okay, you know what? I can actually, I believe, let me throw this one on here. That's going to take a minute to load up. All I got was 2 pictures, and one was the double ginormous buttocks, and one was a single, holy crap, gravity treated her poorly. And for some reason, I'm getting a flag that says the file wouldn't load. Gonna have to try again. But yes, I got those. I used them last week, actually. And I also used them at the end of the videos. So, yeah, I did get them. I did use them. I can use them, absolutely, because they're in suits. War Sniper says, and a rifle and a grenade launcher on the bottom of the barrel and a drone with a flamethrower. Oh, crap. I don't know what he's talking about, but that sounds bad. I'm sure the drone with a rifle with a grenade launcher is all sorts of fun. And let's see. As far as drone with a flamethrower, yes, that's nightmare fuel, especially if you're trying to sleep. Because now, it used to be you could just roll up under your poncho liner, throw a couple leaves on you, and you're fine. You're perfectly camouflaged, and no one's going to bother you unless you're snoring. Now, these drones can track your thermal signature. They're going to come up on you and set you on fire while you're asleep. Holy crap, it's like dating a Hispanic woman. So, yeah. And, yeah, that joke just went, where's it? And Leonid's here going, I can see you like Blazer. Yes, I prefer her over invisigal any day of the week. Personality especially. Not to mention the one thing that turned me off about the invisigal character, I'm sorry, that septum ring. Ever since that start, even in high school, when I saw that, I was just like, no. A girl actually asked me out in high school, and she had one of those, and I just was like, no. And thankfully, she didn't ask me for a reason, because I didn't want to sit there and go, if I pull this, are you going to go, ree, like the pigs that we have to bring over to slaughter? Because no, absolutely not. It looks terrible. Anyway, there's War Sniper saying, I didn't mean to do that. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Leonid's here. I can feel so much frustration when you need to choose between Invisigal and Blonde Witch. Oh, somebody's on the Invisigal team. Now, one of the things that actually got me off, or I shouldn't say got me off, because that sounded so wrong. Geez. That was wrong to say. As far as the design of Invisigal is the fact that she has cybernetic implants literally under this entire area of her body, and she's only wearing a half shirt with an actual slit up the side. You're telling me people couldn't see that? Bullshit. And yeah, why? As a guy, of course, you want to actually have them both. That's a natural reaction. You can officially have the quote unquote good ending and still go after Blazer. The good ending where Invisigal makes out with you at the end. Does it happen? Yes. Do you have to hit certain points for that to happen? Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Scrolling down here. God damn, I made that too strong. Okay, Lena says, I feel like Robert would want to spend the evening with Invisigal in the movie theater instead of going to dinner to date his boss. You know what? Since you control the Robert character, that's on you. That's all I can say. As far as who he would want to go in, honestly, I think the fact that she basically insulted him up until this point, except for when they finally worked together at that last dispatch. No, any guy worth his salt will be insulted the entire time. Like, I'm not just going to turn around and treat you good now. I'll treat you professionally, but you're still a bitch. Let's see. Guardian says, it has to be an object, not an ability. The fuck? Oh, yeah. We're talking about the 3 modes of transportation. Yeah. With the ability, I'm not talking like learning how to fly or something like that. No. I was talking technology in particular. Lena says, we should just figure out how to build a warp drive. That'd be something. I don't know if that technology is even close to possible. However, the fact that we do have reports, if you believe the whistleblowers, of basically FTL craft right now the thing is they're transport only. You can't strap any guns on them. The whole system would fail if you tried that. They have tried. It doesn't work. You would have to actually slow down to basically regular speed, deploy the weapon system to be able to use it and then be able to close everything up and seal it absolutely perfect before you could jump again. So you can't just run past at like ludicrous speed and, go to plaid as you pass by. It doesn't work that way. Not to mention, and here's the fun part about this. Everybody's like, how come if it's going this fast and this low, how come these UFOs, UAPs don't make this gigantic shockwave? Well, if they have that distortion bubble around them, they're not actually within our frequency of this reality at that point. We can see them, but we can't actually hit the damn things. They're actually moving outside our time and space, sort of. It's very confused. It's very hard for me to actually explain. I understand it. I just can't explain it very well. Demon says, if teleportation becomes a thing, it would mostly be used to move products at first because people would be afraid to use it. Yes, yes, yes. 10 quadrillion% correct. Absolutely. Actually, there was a live action show about a business, and they actually put this to their new interns like, hey, you want a spot? You tell me if this works. And they talked about teleportation as a mode of travel, and only one guy realized, no, it's not travel, it's logistics. You could move this much tons within this amount of time, and you're going to save all this on your transportation costs. Yeah, it'd put a lot of ships out of work, but you're going to have to strip them down unless you want to just scuttle the damn things. And that's a lot of metal that you can refabricate for something else. It's actually not hard to do. There's entire shipyards designed or specifically set up for that. Douglas says, you can combine the bubble with dimensional drive. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Again, I can't fully explain that because I have a lot of trouble explaining it. And because I have a lot of trouble explaining it, I'm not going to try. It's just the way it is. And as I'm talking, let me see if I can't get these images back up. And see, Guardian says, personal example. I would want the Tatarian Constructor ship, which is also called the Tatarian Mobile Fleet Yard, a Tatarian collector ship to gather the raw materials for the collector ship, and the Space Stone from Marvel. Oh, Space Stone, that would be something. That's literally just another teleportation. And for some reason, I'm trying to get those pictures up, and StreamYard's being a bastard. But yeah, the Space Stone is just another, basically creates its own Stargate, its own wormhole. It's literally from Martian's successor, Nadesco, where he just kind of blips into some other reality. Lenin says, did you get kissed by Phenomena Man? I really thought that Blazer is going to transform into Fiona from Shrek. Again, subverting expectations. And that's what they did really well. And that's why I brought that up, because everybody had these speculations. Oh, is Invisigal Shroud? Is Blazer Shroud? Is it somebody who works there? Who's in there? Is it the mole? Is it this? Is it that? And it turned out Shroud was just a really smart motherfucker. I mean, they said like multiple times, the red ring is only called that because he puts that in every device that he creates. And it kind of shows whenever they activate it, it glows in kind of a red ring. Okay, whatever. That's perfectly fine. I got no problems with that. And yeah, it just comes to subverting expectations. Now, I will say, one of the areas they should not have subverted expectations is Shroud's insistence on the astral pulse. Motherfucker, you built the damn thing. You're telling me you can't build a second one? You better give me a reason why. Because that killed the, at least storyline wise, it killed it for me. I didn't understand it. The guy built the fucking astral pulse. Why does he have to steal it? Let's see. Demon says, last week you said something about you can tell a person who they picked in dispatch, which happens if you like me and want both Invisigal and Blazer. Not gonna lie, I have a problem. You don't have a problem. Everybody wants it. How many people in The Witcher tried to romance both love interests? Didn't work out too well for the Witcher, though, did it? He ended up getting handcuffed to the bed while they sat there and drank wine. But yeah, it's again that's obvious, okay? But life rarely works that way. I know one guy, one in my entire life, and I've gone to some really weird places. One guy who's actually had two women, and they want to be around. This motherfucker had a shit ton of money. He looked like he was designed by a Roman sculptor. And I mean, he was just naturally built, didn't need to work out, just naturally built. And he dressed really well. And I used to joke with him all the time. I'm like, dude, teach me. He goes, I can't teach you how to make that much money. Oh, shit. The girls hated that joke, but it was just funny. We would do that all the time. It was, of course, that and the standard, dude, can I borrow one? How about both for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours? By then I might be finished. Anyways, yeah, fun. Anyways, yeah, there's no problem with wanting to pick both. It's just, let's face it, society doesn't let you. At least not this society. All right, before I go into Demon's thing here, I'm going to throw up. Well, not actually throw up. But did I do this one yet? All right, well, that was on. StreamYards decided to pinch a fucking fit on me. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me because I am having a lot of troubles here. Close that. All right. Okay, I love when they freaking jump. I hate this thing when it fucking jumps. Okay. Demon's here saying, if possible, he would like to date Invisigal, Blazer, Malevola, and Coop at the same time. He says he has a problem. I'm sorry, does he not realize that all 4 of them flirt with the Robert character through the entire thing? Now, you only see it with Coop once, and it depends on which choice you make. When it comes to, water or liquor, I guess I'll choose I'll be YouTube friendly and say water. But if you throw the not water at flambe, I swear the guy is not just sparkling Heath on fire. Then after Flambe and Punch Up run out of the bar, Coop actually flirts with Robert as Mecha Man. She actually even gives him a wink. She does the side eye. And if you notice, even I give props to the artist on this. As she walks out, she actually accentuates the movements of her hips. So I'm just like, dude, seriously. She could have been a love interest. If they spent more time on this, I'm sure they would made it possible to have any of them as a potential love interest, but not as a harem. If they make this as a freaking harem thing, I'm just going to lose it. As far as Malevola, she actually started getting interested after she saw that the Robert character is at I don't give a fuck level. Even without powers, he was able to throw down with people way bigger and way stronger than him. And that impressed her. She's also impressed with the fact that he has the I don't give a fuck attitude, which most women like. Don't ask me why, but they do. You can tell when they were actually at his house. Not only did she grab his junk, but she actually kept rubbing her tail on him. And that's a common thing in a lot of stories where a female has a tail. She'll like hint with the tail, tap on his shoulder or whatever. I mean, hell, even in the comic book, or let me say this right, the online comic Monster Under the Bed, which by the way is very good. The monsters do have tails, and that's actually one of the ways they flirt and show affection. Instead of making out, they wrap their tails together. So yeah. Should they make Malevola a potential and Coop a potential love interest? I don't see why not. I personally think they could have done that, especially if you said you didn't want to date Blazer and you weren't interested in dating Invisigal, because you do have that choice, especially if you don't kiss them in the beginning, or you don't kiss Blazer in the beginning. You have a chance to actually say, hey, let's stay professional. You're my boss. Let's stop this shit. And she actually walks out going, what the fuck? And then you just don't date Invisigal. I mean, it's just that simple. And then, there's Malevola and Coop right there. And it's, come on. Coop was already fucking punch up. I mean, if you read the comics, on their first date when she tried to kill him, she ended up getting, well, let's say he was punching up all right. All right. Demon says multiple playthroughs. Yes, there are. Demon says you got 15 minutes left. Oh, that sucks. Let's see. Guardian here says the Tatarian constructor ship can build anything you can imagine as long as it has raw material mass to build it. Basically, it's what I wrote about before with the molecular assemblers, where the main character actually he wanted a new ship, he wanted a bigger ship, and he had to wait in line for this gigantic assembler to put his ship in so it would dissolve the entire ship and build him a new one. Just like 3D print that shit. And yeah, that's pretty much the same. That will be. I'm waiting for that technology to be released. That's going to change a lot. Let's see. Guard says, so wow, things politically just hit the fan about 2 hours ago. Yes, they did. Okay, downshifting to this. Guard says 2 National Guard members shot and killed in broad daylight in D.C. Suspect arrested and in custody. Law enforcement refused to release any info on him other than it's a male. And a confirmed 500 more National Guard being deployed to D.C. Well, I guarantee they're not going to be sitting there with only a pissy ant 9mm Beretta. No, these motherfuckers are going to be carrying their actual full kit, most likely, which is usually anywhere from 7 to 12 magazines, not counting what's in the weapon. So, yeah. Plus, they're going to be wearing their body armor for sure. I personally wouldn't go out without my plate carriers, and hell, I got them downstairs. I actually bought plate carriers. It was getting the plates. That's a bitch. God, I'm so agitated. I need a drink. Erica says, I hope that it's not as bad as my dream made it out to be. I'm missing something as far as context. I think something didn't come through, Erica, but well, I can hope as well. Okay, Guard says, oh yeah, fun fact for War Thunder. They actually allow mods that go more in-depth with the game, and they're currently allowing PC players to use a mod that gives you realistic crews. Okay, that's interesting. But it's kind of scary too, because they really dropped into the realism, like they'll panic if a shot bounces. And he says, fucking PTSD mod is what it should be called, because whatever the hell did Screams put the damn heart and soul into that. Yeah. Look, when my interpreter got hit, he was just looking at me, and the fear in his eyes and in his voice, Sarsky, don't let me die. Please don't let me die. I'm like, dude, I cut myself worth shaving. Shut up. As I'm wrapping his legs up. He's fine. He got peppered by some shrapnel. That's about it. Let's see. Demons up here says, oh yeah, the game clips I sent last week were from a game called Dark Hours. It's a game about stealing stuff while being hunted by different monsters. Yeah, I tried to throw a bunch of, or I wanted to throw sound effects in there, but the thing is, the voices were up really high. I tried altering it, and I ended up on one of them, I almost deleted the audio by accident. So just got to work with what's there. Now, Guard, as far as the realism on that, yeah, why not? Especially with the bombing crews. And I wish I had wrote it down or had a link to it so I could post it on here. Where just hearing those or seeing those guys, they would go up, they would do like a full circle, just lining up the bombers, absolutely perfect. And then they're literally looking at the main bomber and they go, okay, bomber, your ship. It's like, Roger, my ship. And they all just line up. Bomb bay doors open. Everybody opens up. And it's like bombs away and everybody just drops. And then you just peel off. Bomb bay doors closing. It's this perfect movement. Just exactly. You would think you're watching that Masters of the Air show when it was actually based on the bombers and not the Tuskegee guys. Not that I have anything wrong with the Tuskegee Airmen. They were awesome guys. It's just I'm here to watch the bombers, not the fighters. Okay. So, anyways, watching them bank away, it was just beautiful. Every single one of their matches, they won. All right. Guardian says, would you accept screenshots from Hero Forge for reference pics? I'll take any pics you want to send. I put in the description box the email just in case anybody else wants to send stuff. But yeah, whatever you guys can send, I will use if I can. But just make sure that it's something I can use. I can use this because they're obviously wearing full body suits. But yeah. All right. Leonid says, I feel like the historically accurate version of Godzilla -1 would have been more interesting. Godzilla -1, if you guys haven't seen it, is a awesome movie. You guys know I do not give props to movies very often, if at all. And yeah, it was extremely good. Okay, it is all in Japanese, so you are going to have to read the subtitles, but it is unbelievably good. And I do recommend it. All right, Eric is saying, I like V for Vendetta. Why? And the thing is, because it's got realism in it. It's right there. Just like, and sometimes the realest parts of the movie are worth the price of admission. Yeah. Anyways, Lena says, Robert spent $86 for a movie theater in the game. For the movie in the theater game Dispatch. Yes, he did. And honestly, for 2 people, 2 tickets plus snacks, that's about right. Yeah. You got to figure, especially at night, you got to figure it's going to be at least 10 to 20 or sorry. 10 to 20 bucks at least per ticket, at least bare minimum. God help you if you're an IMAX, because then it's almost going to be 30 bucks a ticket. Plus, it costs you like $5 to $8 for a water. And that's not even counting soda. Plus, he had what? He had popcorn, which is another probably 10 bucks. Plus, he had like 3 or 4 different snacks to include Sour Patch Kids. And by the way, guys, if you're wondering how they got the money to pay for Dispatch, all you got to do is look at the product placement. Sour Patch Kids, Hostess Twinkies, and all that other shit. It is all product placement. That's how they paid for that shit.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
We got Doc is in here. And by the way, I forgot to put that in. I'm going to actually have to put it in where the guy's screaming, medic, in here. Let me put soundboard. And Steve sends a $10 super sticker. Thank you very much, Steve. Appreciate it very, very much. And I hope you like all the Doc stuff I send. However, you might end up, since your last name is, and I know you says Ewing, the way it's pronounced. I'm sorry, I see E-Wing, as in Star Wars E-Wing. So anyways, thank you very much for the super stickers, Steve. Very, very, very appreciated. And let me scroll up here. I have no idea where I was. I was really far up here. So I'm going to hold up somewhere around, say, here. Okay. Oh, that is the $86 right there on there. So yeah, that sounds about right for two people. All right, War Sniper says, Sin, we have gone get miniguns on Helldivers 2 and a rifle with a grenade launcher on the bottom of the barrel and a drone with a flamethrower. Holy ballsack, as these guys loaded. Although, honestly, I would not want to carry a friggin' minigun. As cool as it is, it's like they said in the Expendables, the amount of ammo it blows through, even if you had the full backpack like you would with the 240 heavy machine gun or the squad automatic rifle, the 249, the minigun fires, what was it, 6,000 to 9,000 rounds a minute? You're going to bust your whole combat load in about 10 seconds. Who the hell wants that? Guard says, I was generally panicking when I saw him staring me down, but not firing. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the video. Demon says, I have so many ideas for Unknown Fleet 2. I just not had time to put them together for you, Sin. I'll get there one day, dude. It's always better quality over quantity, which is why I don't put stuff out every single day. You'd be amazed. I actually have notebooks worth of stories that turned out to be dog shit. And I, for the life of me, even though I could get a video out, I was not going to give you guys crap. No, I refuse to do that. It's either good or great. Not, If I want some, I'll go back to doing commission work where people actually make that sound. Let's see. Gart says, glad you like them because, God, the artist knows how to make some ladies that are absolute colossal rears. No joke. I think we all seen it. He continues, keep in mind, I was lucky to find those because 90% of the pics are usually just a bare ass, almost completely covering the screen. Yeah, there's one that was sent to me that I can't use. You know which one I'm talking about. And it's unfortunate because the thing is the artistry was done very well. I mean, it's obviously still a 2D picture, but the artist spent some time on it. Okay, this is not some ChatGPT chatbot that made it type bullshit. This was actually well done by the artist, and I'm just like, fuck, I can't use it. Just like I can't use these music things anymore, except for the one, just because I'll get demonetized. Lena says, if I had to explain what holographic clothes means, is that I believe that people still wear a layer of clothing. They have a holographic image over the layer of the fabric. Okay, that makes a lot more sense, my friend. A lot more sense. You're basically in a skin suit, though. Honestly, I don't think I could deal with that, me personally. Reason being is, well, two reasons. One, unless it's very flexible, it's very hard on a man's back. I know this because when they first did the original Star Trek, The Next Generation, they had everybody in this one-piece suit that you zipped up in the back, like a wetsuit. Every single one of the male actors complained it hurt their back because it was so restricting. Every time they bent over or moved in a certain way, it pulled, and their muscles had to overstress trying to actually move in a normal fashion. Also, if it's like coveralls, I'm sorry, if you got to go take a shit, you basically got to roll that whole thing down from your neck down to your ankles just to take a dump. I'm sorry, but no. It'd have to be designed a whole lot better. Now, before I get into something gross, how about we blow something up? And I love at the end where you see one just kind of flying across, but somebody, I won't mention who's actually playing the game, doesn't notice. Let's see, where was I? I love how this thing jumps almost all the way to the bottom and makes me have to scroll so fucking far. Okay, whatever. start somewhere around here. Okay, they're talking about the 2 National Guard members. Oh, well, I must have scrolled too far. Okay. Start right here. Lena says, been watching the Unknown Fleet playlist with PAI videos over and over again to jot down notes and ideas, and the way the playlist still backwards for Unknown Fleet. I can't fix that. I fixed it twice. It's still, it drives me nuts. Oh, okay. Goose Fraba. It irritates me to absolutely no end that it does that. That being said, you brought up an interesting point, Demon, and this is for everybody who's designing their own one. Make sure when you're actually writing down here, I'll even show you if I got, is it here? Tell me it's this one. God damn it. I must have left it downstairs where I do most of my writing. For like safe passage, I have an entire page of exactly what the goers look like. And by the way, if you're British, that is hilarious. They're called goers. Hint, hint. If you don't know what that means for British folks in slang, you might want to ask them because it's hilarious. Exactly what they look like, the different ages and whatnot. And then I have the other characters, other main characters specifically there. Now for like ambush predators, I have like 2 pages of characters and descriptions and what they've gone through specifically for this reason you're talking about, Demon. Because a lot of times you'll get started and you're just going to be going, and then, you take a break, you come back and you're like, oh, fuck, how many characters did I have? Where were they? What were they doing? And unfortunately, for me to do ambush predators right, I have to listen to the whole fucking thing over again because there's a lot of notes missing. So do yourself a favor. Have a separate pad of paper on the side specifically to write down the different characters and everything like that. Just like when I was doing the murder mystery, I had to do the same exact thing. All right. Leonid says, when I see sci-fi technology, I want to figure it out how it works. Now, here's the fun thing. A lot of what you see is actually something that has been developed. They're just trying to get you used to it. It's just the way it is. It's been that way for like 20 or 30 years, actually like 50 years, and it ain't going to change. In particular, a lot of stuff you see on Black Mirror, they're admitting that they have the ability to do this. They're only hesitating because the population is not wanting to be part of this, okay? It makes them nervous because they've only seen the double-edged sword that's facing towards them, not the other blade that goes the other way. Okay, like Elon Musk just talked about being able to record all your memories and be able to back them up and watch them again or relive them and how this other thing, or enhance the hearing so you know what was said and this, that, and the other thing. It's scary, but it's possible. Okay. Now I seen the one in Black Mirror where the wife wears this weird head thing, like glows blue. It reads her physical whatevers. So the guy could feel it at the same time and she could feel what he's feeling. So basically, go fuck yourself goes to a whole new meaning on that. And that's where step on a Lego comes in, because she stepped on a Lego while she was wearing it and it got the dude off. So yeah, as far as science fiction, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Science fiction is only science fiction for so long before it becomes science fact. You just don't know when it becomes science fact because people hide it. Okay, Demon says, there's a show that talked about that teleport thing. Neat. Didn't watch the TV, just anime. Okay. I don't know which one, so I can't comment. He also says, I love what happens when you give Shroud both the real and fake pulses. Oh, yeah, where he pukes. And I'm sorry, that Black Einstein looking motherfucker, he has some of the best freaking lines in there. The whole thing, like, oh, that's not right. Oh, jeez. But the back and forth between him and Invisigal is great. It's like, you got any work don't you have work to do? Don't you have any dementia to onset? Okay, I'll admit that one hurt a little bit. You know, that's he's not admitting it, but he's like, okay, you got me. I gotta give props when they do it right, and they did it right. The dialogue is wonderful for that whole game. Leland says, I feel extremely uncomfortable when Robert is trying to date Blonde Blazer. She is his boss. She did not have a boyfriend, or she did have a boyfriend as another superhero. I like invisigal because is literally just me. So you turn invisible and you have asthma?
Game over, man. It's game over.
Hold on. Something down here at the bottom is completely
Inconceivable.
as I scroll down and I see, what do I see? I see Joseph Blosh with a $5 super chat. And he says, Lego versus D4, a painful choice. Yeah. Obviously, whoever said stepping on a Lego is the most powerful thing has never actually played Jacks before. I'm sorry, but I've done that. And I've known grown men to yelp like little girls. It's crazy. If you never played Jacks before, they actually are, well, a smaller version of what's called caltrops or horse trops. They're a spike that is able to always be pointed up. So when you step on it, it goes right into your foot. And it's just painful. Just fucking painful. All right, I have no idea where I was, so I'm just going to try and find it real quick. Okay, went too far. Okay. Nope, that was the Unknown Fleet. Okay, there's the two astral pulses. So, yeah, as far as Blazer being the boss, yeah, if you've ever seen a guy get screwed over at work, you are not going to want to date Blazer, period. Pure and simple, not going to let it go. And that's just the way it is. Guard says, it wasn't confirmed in the game, but with Shroud and the Astropulse, it was confirmed by one of the creators that the reason why he didn't just make another one is because it was literally a literal one-off. It was cut from the game, and it was supposed to show while Robert was being interrogated, Shroud showing multiple attempts of him trying to recreate it and all of them failing. If they had done that, that would have closed the goddamn loop. But until they show it, I'm not going to go by. All I know is he created the fucking thing. And you're telling me as smart as he is, he wouldn't be able to figure it out? Come on. All right. I need to cool my jet, so let's watch something explode. I think I showed that one before. Whatever. Sorry, I just ate the olive that was in my water. And Demon's back to work, unfortunately. Let's see. Guard saying, okay, he continued. Sorry. It was cut from the game because it was supposed to show Robert was being interrogated. Okay. No, I did read that. Okay. Yeah, it was a no-go when people tried to romance both the ladies in Witcher, especially in that time. You know, there wasn't any sharing involved. And you gotta, again, because I know somebody who's able to do this, okay, I'm not going to go on the whole thing. However, understand that both of those girls had already been in a relationship with each other before he actually showed up. So that's why that whole thing fucking worked. So no pun intended. All right. Lena says, I think I like Sonar, but also like Coop, and they don't really want to kick them out of the team. Yeah, I didn't want to kick them out either. I thought that was bullshit. I know it was to send a message, But one of the things, like in the boardroom after Punch Up gets friggin' punted out the door, why didn't they say when you left one of us for something for less than that? Why don't you cut invisigal? Well, all he would have to say is that wasn't my decision. I had to cut somebody. It was required. Just to send the message that had to be done. You know, it's just, yeah. War's never saying, so slick, 2 pills for helping me to fall asleep. So when I'm the cue of the body to go to bed, I will hop off and go to sleep. Okay. Yeah, I can tell the pills are kicking in, man. Either that or you're on a mobile device because you're not spelling it right. No worries, man. Demon said, I didn't say at the time that I'm not insane, like Murdoch. Just any of them. For real, I gotta go. Night, everybody. Okay. Lena says, I understand that Malevola is just based on the comic book imagery of the demons. It's not really anything theological. And Malevola is already in a relationship with someone else. Not quite. She is very good friends with Sonar, but they are not fucking. That's actually they put that in the comic specifically. Those two are not fucking. Because Malevola, as you can see, is a very specific in the way she operates. And again, because she doesn't sleep around like you would think a demon would, especially a succubus would, that tells me that the type of demon she is, that if she mates with somebody, it is a like permanent bonding type of thing. Now, unless they put it in the game or in the comic somewhere else to show me wrong, which by the way, prove me wrong. I'll be interested because I think she's a really awesome character. I really do. Also, in 4 hours and 26 minutes in World of Warships, the Christmas event will start, and I can get a Yamato class ship with aircraft on the back instead of its back. Turn the ship back. It's called Aki. Oh, instead of a turret on its back. Okay. You know, they're actually trying to refit the Missouri and the rest of the Iowa class ships. They're going to, as far as I understand this, they're going to remove the rear turret and they're going to replace it all with missiles. Just VLS, vertical launch tubes. Let's see. Yeah, I hope everybody feels better soon. I mean, it's not a good time to get messed up. Wait a minute. Worst number, you only eat vegetable soup with meatballs? Oh, dude. No, that not how that works. If you can, now I just actually made my own. This is actually pumpkin seeds for my own sugar pumpkins. I baked them up and seasoned them myself. Although this is just salt and pepper. Normally I would take some like dry ranch powder and put on there. It's tasty. But they really help. If you're feeling bad, try this. Tonic water. No joke. I keep a bottle of it right here. Well, I did. Where the hell did it go? Must be in the back. Whatever. But I keep some around when I get sick. And it has quinine in it. Quinine, when it touches a virus, the virus pops right there. And it really helps. So, and that's why it's called tonic water, because it was meant to be medicine. Just make sure you get the good stuff with quinine in it. The other stuff won't do anything except make you go, ugh, what the hell am I drinking, man? Ugh. But yeah, there's multiple things you can do on that. Anyways, Eric is saying 3-Eye Atlas. Oh yeah, we were talking about that. It's funky. We'll see what's going on. Who knows? Maybe he'll fly down to the planet. And Jesus will walk out and go, sup. You know, that ought to be interesting. Lena says, remote viewers will tell you that 3-Eye Atlas is an alien spaceship or something. Who really knows? NASA will refuse to tell you about it. NASA will refuse to tell us about anything. Okay, NASA was set up as a disinformation unit from the start. It was meant to say we're looking into space when actually they're testing ICBM missiles and rockets. Okay, it's a bunch of bullshit. NASA, in actuality, was truly set up to monitor weather and to control weather. It's linked in with the HARP system and all the rest of that shit. So yeah, NASA to me has lost a lot of its credibility over time. But unfortunately, it's where we get most of our intel because we don't have anywhere else to go. They have the best telescopes. Leland says, I really liked episode 5 of Dispatch. That was the best episode in my opinion. I don't know what actually happened in which episode. I think episode 6 is where Chase burned himself up. So I don't know. Guard says, so far with the mods, I only let's see. They only have it out for Tent Cruise, and it's only available for Germany, Italy, France, China, and Russia. Okay. They said it will probably take 1.5 to 2 years to get the voice lines for the planes and tanks all together for every nation because they're multitasking countries. I can see that happening because not only do they have to do the words. If I translated everything from like Japanese or Chinese directly to English, it would sound like fucking Yoda. Okay, that I can understand. That's going to take some time. Plus, you got to get the verbiage right, as far as the slang and whatnot. Garson, it'll probably take a. Okay, I just read that. Leon says Godzilla -1. What did you say? Did giant dinosaur blow up an American destroyer? Okay, let's call MacArthur. Yeah, that was interesting. The problem is MacArthur was a douchebag and a moron. He was actually stupid. If you read actually what the guy was saying, he was pretty dumb. He was an okay figurehead to look at, but the guy was a moron. And personally, I still think he should be, all his awards should be stripped. Because he was just a piece of shit. Okay, Guard says, hell yeah, 2 gigantic moons right there. 1 pink, 1 blue. Pick your favorites, everybody. Ooga. That's what that is. And Steve's here. Let's see. Erica says, if Godzilla touched a U.S. Navy ship, I feel bad for Godzilla. Yeah, we don't let that sit. That's one of those things where you're like, yeah, you just rolled snake eyes, motherfucker. And that's actually one of the key things with a lot of the stories that I do in particular is a threat to one is a threat to all, which is one of the reasons why when certain people over by a certain peninsula started lobbing drones at civilian ships, and those civilian ships happened to be American-backed or American-owned, yeah, there was some warships that were moved up in that area. We don't really like that. That's a no-no, motherfucker. Warzone says, we gonna get a backpack. Yeah. We gonna get the backpack with it, and we can resupply it. And a lot of hell divers want it's a community requested weapon. Okay. You're talking the minigun. Okay. I'm guessing it's a lower caliber to justify it because the actual look, I've actually been in a Blackhawk when they fire it. You can actually feel the Blackhawk shift sideways as that thing's firing. The pilot and co-pilot have to compensate whenever you fire. It's crazy. You got to remember, when they're just sitting there, you're literally floating. When I went through air assault school, they said it's the world's biggest kite that you actually come out of. Because when you rappel, and this is just for the school, when you rappel, not fast rope, you get to the bottom, there's a safety there. He actually stops. You do the command, and they'll actually tell you when to back, and you literally run backwards to pull that rope out of your harness. Because if you just run backwards, you're going to pull that helicopter with you. Even if your hands are far away from the rope, there's that little pressure that's needed to move that sucker. So, Let's see. Douglas says, to feed the minigun properly, ammo-wise, you need a whole crate. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You literally need a backpack full of bullets, and you're still going to bust your whole combat load really, really fast, even though you're going to do it right across their face. Lena says, what's better than using one minigun? Using two miniguns in anime. Wow. Yep. There's a video somewhere of me actually taking two 240 medium machine guns, which, by the way, fire 7.62 by 54, which is 30-6, and just what you see is me actually leaning forward, trying to get enough because it's still pushing me back. If you stand straight, you literally start falling backwards. I'm one of two guys in my battalion who could actually fire that son of one of those things off the shoulder and still maneuver. And yes, we did fire accurately. We were both bullseyeing the 600-meter target with the 240s from a standing position. And I believe the guy in the tower's response was, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Of course, then one of our safeties walked up and lit a cigarette off the barrel and then said, "Good job. Now, unload. Let's go." Anyways, Lena says, what's better than... Oh, I just read that. Erica says, there's a song about big bottom girls make the world go round and around and around. You are correct. And I just made myself dizzy because the water is kicking in. Even a sip is strong. Okay. Guard says, at least with Helldivers, when it comes to holding the miniguns, that's because the soldiers are slightly augmented, very important, to be strong enough to carry it and take the force. But yeah, you're not wrong about the ammunition, though. It's like a ton of ammunition. They're being carry a 300 to 400 pound bag to carry enough for at least 30 seconds. That's why most miniguns are mounted on stuff, yes, because then you can just slap a big-ass box of ammo to the side of it and call it a week. No, you can call it about less than a minute. When I worked with the SWIT guys, and whenever I worked with anybody on a helo, they hate the fucking minigun. I mean, they seriously hate the damn thing. It takes forever to clean it. I helped them clean once. And all I'm doing is they would hand me a piece and they say, clean it. And I'm okay. Takes about 5 minutes. I get it all sparkling clean. I hand it back and they hand me another piece that looks exactly like the piece I just finished. And there's like 6 or 8 of those. If we keep going, we're friggin' run the snakes down the barrel and everything. And then you got to do that down the other one, but you got to run it like 3 or 4 times. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck is with this thing? And then if you don't have electricity, the damn thing doesn't work. It's just, Okay, up here, Lenin says, they have said that Amazon is going to release new Stargate show, and it's already in production drama. Yeah. Honestly, I've had enough of Stargate. I really have. I only watched it because I was deployed, and you will watch anything. You will watch anything. You will read anything because you are bored out of your fucking skull over there. I played games so often that I, at one point, won the game, no joke, with my eyes closed. It was that bad. Erica says, when isn't Amazon having production dramas? Yeah, only with their shipping are they good. Supposedly. Now, I don't have Amazon, so I don't know. Now, before I go too much, let's, have we seen this one? Yeah, we saw that one. How about this?
Drop the diffuser. Down to 1 friendly. Op 4 last stop standing. The diffuser has been secured. Op 4 eliminated.
I already know what sound effects I'm going to use for that one. Right when he turns the corner.
Gotcha, bitch.
And just take him down. Okay, Lena says, it was funny when the actors joked about the Zat gun. You need to press the button on the erect gun when the snakehead moves forward, then it's like it needs to shift side. I saw that whole thing. It's like when you fire it, you just see a light and you go, pew. That's all you hear. Pew. And he's like, have you ever looked at one? It's a penis. It's like they didn't want to use it. I can understand why they didn't. I mean, every time you hit it and it extends, you're like, okay, did I excite this thing? What the fuck is wrong? Oh shit. That was, if you guys haven't seen that, look up the interview, Stargate Cast, Sidearm Zat, and it should come up. They're doing a panel at like a Comic-Con or something, and I did not give it justice. They oh man, just watch it. It's hilarious. Okay, Guard says, oh no, that was a teammate since I was playing Russia. That was a F-34 flying by me in that clip. So I was perfectly okay. I didn't know if you were playing with the icons on. All I saw was a tank go by. Steve says, yep, love all the doc stuff, Sin. Just don't call me late for, call me anything. Just don't call me late for dinner. Gotcha. Just FYI, Steve, I know you're probably waiting for me to use you more often as a medic, but there's a reason why I say Doc Peterson so much. That was one of our medics, and unfortunately, he's not around anymore. He made it through the entire tour with us. He did not make it through a second tour. So, yeah, it's kind of a hat tip to a friend of mine. So, yeah. Or when I say Doc Hershey, which was my best friend when I was in 25th ID, and so don't take it personal when I don't call you out as Doc, okay? Just see, Guard Seer says, I mean, if you think about half of your playlist being asked backwards, it's bad, Sin. They just hit net narrator. They just hit net narrators. Like half his playlists are so janked. In one of his series, he had chapter 88, where chapter 1 is wow. I'll drink to that. Yeah, guys, I swear, right hand to you. I don't screw up the order. The channel does. That is a YouTube thing. I have fixed multiple that you guys have shown me, and it just, I don't know what the fuck is going on. It just scrambles stuff up so bad, which is why, again, if you get into the playlist where it says complete series, so far there's only 2 there, but when I actually go on vacation or something and I have to have something out, I'm just going to compile everything. I'm going to throw them in there, and they're just going to come out one right after another. Don't be surprised if there's a bunch of commercial breaks and stuff in there. However, that will be the best time to like binge watch the whole thing. Erica's saying they designed the Zat gun on purpose. What, to be a boner? Lena's here. He says invisigal would say things like she has no filter. That's what actually draws a lot of people in. Okay, and let's face it. The first time she talked, they're like, so her first line was, I believe, so you two fuck or what? And I'm like, wow, okay. She's talking like she's in the infantry. So I like that. That's pretty good. But then again, I didn't want to fuck any of my coworkers. So yeah, that's not going to fly. And when you're in an office setting, that definitely doesn't fly. We kissed. It was very innocent. In the cheek innocent or tip of the dick innocent? You know, it's like, eesh. And she does some serious flirting on that. You know, especially if you actually go on a date with her and then go to the bar. Just... wow. Did you just casually offer me casual sex? You catch on quick. I'll get us a table. It's like, yeah. You're right. She does have no filter. And that's what, again, draws people in. But then again, a lot of people who act like that are trying to protect themselves. Unless that is just, like I said, in the infantry, that's just the way we talked. I dull things down a lot for this channel. Because believe me, you guys, I would get flagged like crazy if I spoke infantry the entire time. Okay, Guardian says they need to be steel jacks, not the cheap plastic ones. And yes, aluminum jacks turned into spikes. Yes, they did. Seriously, again, when you wake up and you just hear one of the biggest guy you know screaming, ah, as he falls over, and you just hear a thump and everybody just comes running. We're all plastered off our asses, so most of us are stumbling out there, and he's literally pulling jacks out of his foot. Who left these here, man? Oh my God, what the fuck are these things? He didn't even know what jacks were. And after we saw that, I'm sorry, we were all on the floor because we were laughing so hard. I actually ran out of the house because I was laughing so hard I threw up. I mean, it's just, of course, that's what happens when you're, again, plastered off your ass, because I drank a whole bottle of Seagram 7 by myself straight from the bottle, you know, like Blazer does. Maybe that's what I like about her. Anyways, Erica said to Guardian, said, my cousin and I found our great-grandparents' jacks, and we missed out. My foot found it. I'm sorry. Just ouch. Lena said, Zach gun also has the ability to unlock locks. How would you know if the lock is stunned, killed, or vanished? Oh yeah, just watch the interview with the panel guys. I'm not going to get into that because it was so fucking hilarious. War Sniper says he has dyslexia, and that's the reason. So does somebody I know. Have you ever watched Grunt Speak? Okay, with former First Sergeant Terrence Popp. He has dyslexia too, and he just runs with it. I actually had a, let me say this right. There is a skit from Gallagher. If you've never seen Gallagher, he is an old prop comic long before Carrot Top even thought of ripping him off. He does a whole thing about the pronunciation of different words. When you go see that, you see that dyslexia isn't as messed up as people think, because let's face it, it's very easy to screw up the pronunciation and the way things are supposed to be spelled when you have one way of actually trying to figure it out. So let's see. Leonid says, well, Russians built parts for the International Space Station and flew it to the Croton rocket. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a real station, and anyone trying to say otherwise are in denial. It is an actual, it's beyond the exosphere of this planet. It's a fucking space station as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I don't know what anybody's problem would be on that. Lena says, in Chapter 5 of Dispatch, they had a very cool bar fight, and the ending had Flambe karaoke song, my favorite character. Dude, thanks to that bullshit, I had that song stuck in my head for like 2 days. And I can actually hear it in my head right now. His name's Bitch. He's a Robert. He's a bitch. Name is Robert. It's just going on and on. And the problem is, while he's singing, unfortunately, a lot of times you have the text on the bottom because you can't turn it off. And it's just like, motherfucker. Okay. Trying to get that out of my head. Let's, wait a minute. Did you send me 2 of the same clip?
Drop the diffuser. Down to 1 friendly. Op 4 last stop standing. The diffuser has been secured. Op 4 eliminated.
Yeah, I think you sent me two of the same video. I'll double check before I do the compilation, which was only going to be about 3 or 4 minutes. Now, as far as the dispatch fight, yes, that was extremely good. I don't know what to say. It was just really good. My favorite part of the whole fight is when Malevola chucks the guy into the street and Golem looks down, pulls out his earbuds, and that just look of sheer joy they put on his face of just like, I get to beat somebody's ass tonight. Yes. And he just goes in there and just starts beating wholesale ass with the rest of them. It was just good. Oh, man. The thing is, I've seen that look on somebody's face, and yes, it was for a bar fight. And unfortunately, I was the one who got hit by something, so I was kind of looking sideways. Long story short, I looked over, said, "You think we should leave?" And I got clacked by a beer bottle. I'm actually amazed I don't have any scars. It broke, but it didn't actually break the skin, but it was enough to actually send me sideways. I looked, and just the look of sheer joy on Joel's face was almost scary, people. It was just, because the thing is, he was my instructor. He was teaching me how to fight. So he friggin' had a field day. Me, I headed for the door because honestly, at that point, I'm like, I don't know if I should call the paramedics yet. Let's see. Erica says, Zat guns remind me of the Tesla guns, plus has 3 settings. Live but nasty headache, ghost, and no more dust. Yeah. Guard continues with what he was saying. He says, and there was the colossal purple moons. After taking a little bit of look at the artist stuff, it's just going to say it. The purple girl is definitely my favorite recurring character. Okay, I must have missed something here. Okay, Lena says 12 seconds of minigun cost $40,000. I don't remember it from the video game. Yeah. You're not joking about that. That thing is unbelievably expensive. Now, the thing is, it's the most accurate machine gun on the world, or in the world, for one reason only. If you consider that the tracer rounds are 1 to 4, so every 5 shots is a tracer, basically you're targeting a laser beam. You don't have to wait that half a second between the tracer launching and hitting its target to adjust your sight. You're literally lining everything up as you're going. Now, that being said, when we had the Spectre gunships, also known as the Angel of Death, over Mosul, when they fired, it looked like a fucking laser beam. You're talking a quad minigun firing at the same time from 3 different aircraft. Wow! Glad we're not out in the city tonight. We sat there and watched all the fireworks. Okay, Guard says, like, no joke about the purple lace in. The artist confirmed she's almost 10 feet tall. Like, dear Lord Almighty, she's got a reason to have hips that wide. Oh, you mean this one? Just like, good God, you accidentally walk into her, you're not going to be able to get out. You're going to like trying to peel yourself out, and God help you. If she farts, she's going to send you 20 feet back. He continues like, I mean, I would imagine there being drama with the new Stargate show since Amazon still has it in their head to keep going with the Disney approach to TV shows. Oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah, the Disney approach to any of these shows is fuck it up so bad that no one wants to watch anymore. Also, put a chick in it, make it gay, which, by the way, I tried to get that sound effect again the past couple of days. I haven't been able to find it. They have it locked down. It's behind paywalls. And I shit you not, the lowest I saw was $16 for that one soundbite. I'm like, piss the fuck off. You can lick my left nut if you want me to friggin' pay that much for a soundbite. Lena says, traveling after the apocalypse is definitely my favorite anime of the season. And yet another anime where the girl wrote her own isekai fan fiction. That was interesting too. Okay. I don't think I've seen any of those, or either of those, I should say. Lena says half of what she wrote would have been very embarrassing. Honestly, some of the stuff that I wrote when I did commissioned work, if it actually came reality, most of you guys would lose your freaking minds because honestly, it's most fucked up shit ever. I will say one. Now, this guy wanted a full series, and I won't give you the extras that are in this because mainly it'll kill my stream. But one of the things, he wanted a time reset, time dilation of some sort. So I literally had a event hit the world where they had to send people back in time. Now, when you go back in time, you don't actually take your body. Only your consciousness can be sent back in time. Think Days of Future Past Wolverine. But it's not limited to them actually keeping the machine on you. Once it goes, boom, you're there. But what happened was when they sent the consciousness back, there was an issue with the machine itself. It didn't understand that you're sending like 5,000 people back at the same time. So it screwed things up. Let's just say for that one, you guys would be like, what the fuck is this world coming through nowadays? I will say this, though, because of all the science I had to put in, I actually enjoyed writing most of it. There were some parts that I had to stifle my vomit. And let's just say I needed more glasses of water to get through that one. Ugh. Let's see. Erica says the Zat gun is designed to mimic a real snake movement. Yep. But there's a hilarious side effect that you mentioned. Yep. Steve says, I don't all love and respect. Wait a minute. I don't all love and respect to our fallen. Besides, your army dog, I was Navy with the jarheads, Semper Fi. Okay. Wait a minute. Aren't you Husa? Isn't that what the Navy guys, Usa? That's what they yell? So you were a corpsman. Okay. No worries. And hey, you're still one of us, man. I don't care what branch you're in. You're still one of us. Let's see. Steve also says tequila is my drink. Na 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 na. That's his drink. Honestly, tequila would put if I had that much tequila in place of my water, I would be on the floor right now. The stream would probably still be going, but I would literally like lean forward sideways and I'd be losing conscious. All you'd hear is, I'm going down. I'm going down. So yeah, no, don't just no. To this day, Rod and I, well, we haven't done this in like 10 years. His wife used to get pissed off. He would bring the best tequila he knows. I would bring the best vodka I know, and we would swap and see who could do as many shots before we ended up on the ground. His wife, every single time after about 4 shots, she'd walk up to both of us. You guys, what the fuck are you doing? She was a very, very small, angry Hispanic woman. So you can imagine the chew out we got. But the problem is we were laughing too hard as we're honestly laughing so hard that we usually crawl to the balcony and puke. So, yeah. Okay, Lena says, I still probably believe that Soviet cosmonauts saw flying angels in space in Sayat 7. I don't know. I've heard about this. I don't have enough to comment. Lena says, why won't any Amazon shows be woke? It's expected at this point. As far as I know, they are. I haven't seen too many. I don't have any streaming services at all. So, yeah. Steve says, Donald Duck, let me get you a towel. Oh God. Yep. Oh shit. I don't know where to actually get the recording. I mean, I don't even know if I could pull up YouTube on this. But what he's referring to is something that was called, and I shit you not, this was back in the late 90s, was called Donald Duck phone sex. and literally it was calling up. It was basically he answered the phone, but he put the receiver down, and Daisy is down doing something to him. And I can't do the Donald Duck. The closest I get is this with the Donald Duck voice. I can't do the Donald Duck voice for nothing. I don't even really try. But you're right, Steve. I can actually hear it in my head right now. Yes, play with something. Play with something. Oh, yeah, slow it down. Oh, my God. I just... the thing is, you guys can find it on YouTube. Do yourselves a favor. When the stream is over, listen to that and try not to laugh. I dare you. I double dare you, motherfuckers. All right. Guard says, I guess it must have been twice because I don't remember sending the Claymore pick once. Huh. I'll just have to check him again. That's all. Alan says, for the soundbite, use Live Child's voice on what? Okay. Live Child's voice on. I'll try this. I don't know what you're talking about. Live Child's voice on record. Alan Williams. All right, I'll look it up if I can find it. I'm not sure I know which one you're talking about, but I'll look up through the soundboard stuff. Lena says, every time I hear about the show Andromeda, I remember the captain talking to people asking, do you want to see my Force Lance?
Giggity giggity. Giggity goo. Stick around.
I don't have anything else on that one. War Sniper says, I don't want to set up a sad stream, but I have a feeling out of nowhere that we won't see Sir anymore. I think we lost this fight against cancer. I don't know him. But oh, sorry, it's jumped on me. Do have out of nowhere feeling. I kind of have the feeling too. If you guys have not noticed, when I do the shout outs at the end of the video, I specifically pull up the same icon that he wanted, which was the carrier that his father served on. Okay. You'll hear it's like I say thank you for joining me on this one, and I'd like to send out or say that today's winner is here, and I'd like to send out, and that's when you'll see it every single time. It's the same picture every single time. I only use certain ones for certain points, and those stay static. Everything else can change. But yeah, he was class 4, or sorry, stage 4. So yeah, if I had any drink left, I'd drink to him, hopefully being okay. But let's face it, you guys know, after long enough, the chance of survival for everybody dropped to 0. I mean, it is what it is, at least until we get certain technologies released that we don't have yet. But yeah, War Sniper, it's I don't have a salute for him, but that's about the best I got. Let's see. Lena says, I think if you could call the phone number for dispatch, Blonde Blazer will answer. Yes, that is absolutely true. That is 100% true. Not to say I've ever called it myself to see if it's true. No, it is. It's there. If you call from the commercial, it will actually have a pre-recorded Blonde Blazer voice. And there's so many Easter eggs in there. It's crazy. Steve says, not going to happen. That was hilarious. You'd have to be dead not to be rolling with laughter. Yeah, with the Donald Duck thing. I'm sorry, but yeah, the visuals in your head is enough to just make you just puke with laughing. Brian's saying, yeah, you're probably correct on the whole thing with Sir. Yeah, I got you. Alan here, for a phrase to make record, live child doing the phrase of your, hold on. For a phrase to make record, a live child doing a phrase on your computer or on a tape recorder, you can adjust as you please. Well, unfortunately, I don't have any young kids anymore around. All my nieces and nephews are at least 10 years old or more. So I don't know little crazy kids for that. Let's see. Erica's on here too, saying, on Andromeda, I forgot about the Lance thing. He wanted to use Rule 34 too much. Sorry, I've had too much whiskey with my Coke. Really? Okay. Leonid says, well, there's probably a reason why Soviets wanted to build advanced saucer aircraft. Yeah, the same reason the, shall we say, early 1940s Central Europeans wanted to, which they actually succeeded in doing. But the thing is, every time they put weapons on it, the damn thing didn't fly right. Yeah, you're right, Steve. I mean, all we can do is hope on that one. So anyway, guys, I'd love to put more media assets out, but I was only given, well, one of these is a repeat, so let me remove that. So I only got 5 of them. So once again, let's do things, hit it with a little bit of dynamite.
Did somebody say dynamite? No!
Now, the fun thing about that video there is the fact that he blew up 2 tanks with a tank destroyer, because that's what it was designed for. I mean, pure and simple. That's what those ones were designed for. That's why the main gun is so fucking huge. It's literally a stripped down, I want to just blow up armor. And at that range, that's point blank. There's no armor in the planet that could slow that down or even stop it, except for depleted uranium, and that's modern armor. So anyways, looks like we are just about done. Yes, I see that War Sniper. We can all hope that he comes back. But, you know, reality is what reality is. And now I keep hearing some strange stuff about the different years. Originally, it was 2036 where everything would be released. Then it got back to 2030. And now I'm hearing 2028 or 2026. I mean, it is just, the speed of technology is just crazy. And Leonid, no, tank destroyers are not just normal tanks. They are stripped down. They replace the armor with armament. Okay, that's what they're there for. So yeah, Brian's got the right idea. We're pretty much going to be wrapping up right now. We've been going for just over 2 hours and 13 minutes here. All I can say, again, I wish I had a little bit more water to race you guys, and everybody having a absolutely great Thanksgiving. I know we're going to have some yelling around here because my dad already dove into the stuffing when my sister told him not to. So yeah, here's to all your guys' health. Anybody who's driving right now, be careful on the roads. It's going to be very, very, very busy. This is the busiest travel day of the year. So hopefully you guys are static right now. You can be off the roads and not deal with any of that bullshit. Just remember also, when you're done with your dinner, you're going to have wine with dinner most likely, and the tryptophane's going to be playing all sorts of holy hell with you. So just do yourselves a favor. Just stay home. Enjoy yourselves. Hopefully the little kids don't drive you too crazy, because last time I fell asleep during Thanksgiving, a little kid actually jumped from the top of the couch onto my stomach. It was all I could do not to puke. Before I go, once again, reminder, make sure you guys are still subscribed, because everything's been going to shit lately. Also, remember, if you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. Everybody wants to drink and drive. Feel free to beat their ass. It's a whole lot easier to explain why you broke his nose than to explain to their wife why they broke their neck. Also, if your little soldier's going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It gets wet in the bush, at least if you know what you're doing. Right, Erica? Anyways, also, watch out on the roads, because with everybody running around in the woods, it is still hunting season, which means they are pushing stuff out of the woods. Just this morning, I heard one of my neighbors fire. I don't know if he got anything, but when I was driving, I was being very careful, because we have plenty of deer around here. The squirrel's not going to mess up your car, but if a deer goes through your windshield, it's going to mess you up. And I don't want you guys messed up. I want to see you all here next week on Syntex Live. And I'm going to send you guys out once again with Cartman. And he's going to say the same thing I'm sure everybody's going to be doing once you are heading back home for Thanksgiving.
Screw